Hey everybody, this is the Facebook Ads with a Twang podcast. I'm your host, Ben Blackman, and today we're talking about what you need to know about your Facebook business page. Here comes episode 52. Facebook Ads with a Twang is dedicated to taking the often overcomplicated process of creating simple, successful Facebook ads, breaking them down step by step in less than 10 minutes at a time. Let's get started. Welcome everybody to episode 52, talking about your Facebook business page. And actually this episode I had another topic, but in light of what's been going on with the recent announcement by Mark Zuckerberg and the changes to the newsfeed and that kind of thing, I just kind of wanted to throw in my 2 cents and give you my opinion on it real quick, because it does relate back to your ads. So even though it's not directly about ads, it still has something to do with it. And as you may or may not know, the news feed is changing again. I mean, I know that's a shocker because they don't change it often enough, but this is a pretty big change. And you probably have already seen it. I know I have. In my news feed, all I see are groups. I mean, that's all that shows up in my news feed. I don't see very many posts from friends or stuff like that. Of course, I don't post a lot personally anyway, but I don't see a whole lot there. And so, but I see groups because I engage in groups quite a bit. And so that was kind of what happened. Mark Zuckerberg basically said that they're trying to put more things into the news feed that is relevant and makes people want to stay on Facebook longer, engage longer, and be happier longer, so to speak, while they're on, in their Facebook experience. So, news stuff and businesses kind of are getting pushed out and not as available into the feed. So, what that really means is that not that the business page isn't important, because you still need a business page. If you don't have one, you can't run Facebook ads on the news feed anyway. So you have to have one. But it means that if you were posting a lot on your business page, people are going to see it less and less. I mean, they already weren't seeing it much anyway, but it's going down even further. And so anytime there's an algorithm change, you've got this uproar and segment of people who are either mad at Facebook for making a change, which I don't understand that at all, or you've got people who are saying how it's going to kill their business, or you've got people saying, hey, this is a good thing. Well, I'm in favor of it's a good thing, because this actually weeds people out. In other words, it weeds people who aren't really committed to their marketing, or they're just trying to get by, or they're not providing good, relevant content for their audience in terms of their Facebook ads. It weeds them out. And so now the quality of your ad and how relevant it is to your audience is going to be even more important. And so it really helps those of us who work on the quality of our ad and really try to push out stuff that's really relevant. So what I really kind of wanted to mention, though, is, so what does this mean that you should do for your page, your business page? Should you be posting? Should you just not post? What do you need to do with it? So the answer is not really that simple, because, nobody knows exactly how the algorithm works. I will say this, if you weren't getting a whole lot of organic reach before with your page, then I probably wouldn't spend a lot of time trying to get organic reach. You can get reach or better reach from your page as a byproduct of running really good ads, right? And just simple organic growth instead of trying to constantly post stuff. And part of the algorithm changes, what happened is it's not how much content you're going to provide, it's how good the content is that you are providing. So you can actually do less content as long as it's more relevant and people are commenting and liking and stuff like that. And so my point to that is if you're going to post on your business page, you need to make them really good, and you need to really promote them, because if you don't promote it and you don't start getting a lot of shares and likes and stuff like that, it's not going to go anywhere. And then you've spent all this time putting this content together that nobody's ever going to see. So think about where your time is best spent. I mean, if it's doing post and organic growth, make sure that you're able to, one, measure that. In other words, if you're posting stuff and you can't really tell that your business is increasing because of it, or you're doing better in your business because of it, why would you keep posting, right? I mean, to me, I would rather sink that time into doing paid ads, or maybe a combination of organic growth and paid ads. So think about where your time is best spent. Think about the content that you're promoting. Make sure it's not just good, it's great, and do it less often. Okay, so that's a good thing, right? And then make sure once you get the content out there, you are actively promoting it, whether you're using Facebook ads to promote your content, you're jumping in groups and promoting it, you're reaching out to influencers and asking them to promote it, whatever it is. Just don't put out any old thing just to be putting out something so that you can say you're promoting content. So I hope that made sense a little bit. The other thing I kind of wanted to mention is that I'm not a big fan of putting all your eggs in the Facebook basket anyway. If your business is 100% relying on Facebook, that's probably not a good business model. And I think I've mentioned this before, but if I haven't, I'll do it now. I've had other companies in the past, and some of them did really well, and I had a mortgage company at one time. And then one day I came in and it was gone. Companies that were funding the loans, they were out of business. I mean, people were sitting there trying to buy their house and there was no money, and my business was literally gone overnight. And what I had done back then is I used a ton of direct mail. I still love direct mail, but I was doing a lot of direct mail campaigns. I was doing Google AdWords then too. And I got a lot of business from that, but I focused primarily, using direct mail. Well, the challenge was that the type of loans that were available and the people that I was marketing to weren't jiving. They weren't, going to be the same they weren't the same market to message match. And so, the mail pieces I was sending out, it didn't matter if they did call me, I couldn't help them. So things change that we're not in control of. And when we put everything in one basket, then, that's kind of a sign that maybe we need to branch out a little bit in our business and our thinking about how we're, doing our advertising and our marketing. The other thing is, and I always bring this up, I say this all the time, I ask people, I say, do you remember broadcast fax? Exactly. So either you remember it or you don't, but either way, it's not around anymore. I knew people literally making millions of dollars per year using broadcast fax, and they walked in one day because of regulation changes with the government, and they couldn't do it anymore, and they were out of business overnight. And I'm not trying to scare you or anything like that. I'm just trying to expand your thinking about this just a little bit. Google, just to kind of give you some perspective, has twice as much ad spend coming in as Facebook. I mean, it's twice as big. They can reach more people, more targeted, and that kind of thing. And I'm not saying you need to go switch over to the Google ad networks, whether it's YouTube or Google Display or AdWords or whatever. What I am saying is that if you get your marketing campaign going, have a plan to branch it out so that if for some reason Facebook makes another change, you're not out. If they shut your ads off, if they had them approved and then they disapprove them, make sure you're ready. Okay, so that you have another direction to go. Now, if you're new and all this stuff, I'm not trying to scare you. Facebook is still an amazing, amazing place to run your ads, and you should do that, okay? And when you're starting out, that's okay. There's nothing wrong with that. But I just want you to have a plan in place in case Google Google too, but in case Facebook makes another change, so that you'll be able to still drive in business. And so I know that's all kind of a lot of stuff, and it's not directly related to ads, but I thought it was kind of important to share that. And I wanted to talk about those updates to the Facebook business page. So anyway, I hope you enjoyed this one. And if you have any questions or anything, please reach out to me. Also, a couple other things, please subscribe and leave me a review. I mean, I know you're probably driving in your car and stuff, and that's because that's when I listen to my podcast, and I listen to most of them at 2 times speed. But if you get a chance, when you get where you're going, take a minute, leave me a review, especially if it's going to be a good one, and I would really appreciate that. All right, enough self-promoting. I will see you guys on episode 53.